What are some of the frameworks that you have used from your past experience in your coaching and coaching programs?
Uh, well, I mean, I've created my own frameworks, for example, for influence. I've built, like, I've reversed engineered everything that works for influence in terms of splitting it into building influence
Mhm.
and influencing. So the distinction, the going hand in hand. I've used a lot of. I believe in communication, and not just communication, but emotionally intelligent communication. I've also created my own frameworks for that. Decision making, I think that's another. Prioritizing frameworks have been absolutely essential because people need to understand, risk reward, right? Or what is high impact? How do I prioritize, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't rely necessarily on your manager to prioritize for you. So those types of skills, I consider them kind of foundational
Yeah.
for, again, across the board, engineering managers
Right.
and
I would
individual
love to
contributors.
hear a little bit more about your influence framework, if you can share that.
Yeah. So the way we build influence is like, imagine a pyramid. That's the pyramid of influence. The way it starts is with working on ourselves and our mindset. And there's a lot that goes into um, just limiting beliefs that hold us back from being truly being influential. Like, for example, fear of speaking up, not fear of I'm not good enough, or I am not an extrovert, or I'm, not like I am not a good salesperson. I don't want to, those types of things. So that's the first part, mindset. Second part is reputation and building reputation. Then we have relationships, right? Once you know, and reputation, some people call it personal branding. I've learned that most engineers have an aversion towards the term personal branding. So I now focus on career reputation, and that's it. And then relationships, work relationships. How, and this goes back to the caring techie and bringing emotional intelligence into it. How are we talking to each other? How are we listening to each other? And then finally, on top of the pyramid is the moments, acts of influence, where we have to get buy-in or we have to convince. But the thing is, we're not going to be able to use those things unless we build the pyramid, unless we have the relationships and the reputation. Sometimes it doesn't matter exactly what we say in the moment, and that's one of the biggest misunderstanding about influence, is that we think is if we can only find the right words, people will listen to us. And it's not just that. People listen and get influenced by many other behind the scenes factors, right? Their perception of you will impact
Mhm.
how open they are to listening to you, and so on. So that's
Yeah.
kind of
I
in a
love that
nutshell.
idea of the pyramid, and like you have to set that foundation in order for, you to kind of get to the top. And something that also kind of came to me when you were sharing this is it's not just that, influence can happen in the moment, or like you have one presentation and that's where you have to influence, and you cannot actually build the pyramid while you're doing it. A lot of this is happening before. When you say
Yes.
behind the scenes, that's kind of what I get is like it's leading
Yes.
up to then the moments where the influence or the actual influence comes into
Yes.
play. And so that, I guess, yeah, I feel like it's really important for people to understand. And hopefully like they understand like that pyramid, the visualization definitely makes it easy. And I love that framework.